Well, hey guys, and welcome again to Into the Night. Tonight I'm doing another product review. This is the JP303 from Z Vision, supplied by Eagle Eye Hunting Gear. So we'll get it onto the table. This is a hunting torch meant for putting in your rifle. For those people who can't afford thermal scopes or night vision, this here is a good friend for you. So we'll get it on the bench and show you what's inside the box. So here's the nice hard case that it comes with. There we go, it's all nice and padded in foam. We've got a good quality battery charger, one spare battery. Now this is a 18650 battery, 3200 milliamp hour battery. We've got a 12 volt lead to be able to plug the charger in the car. We've got a tail switch, so you got a dial to adjust your brightness and your press button to turn it on and off. So that replaces your tail cap on the back of the torch. And then we've got a 240 volt charger, and we've got the figure 8 clamp so you can attach it to your scope, and the torch itself. So this here has got the really nice big bezel on the front, and so the whole thing, you can turn the bezel to focus your beam, so it's right out, is fairly well spread, and you turn it right around to focus into quite a tight spot. So there's virtually no spill that comes out of the LED out of that when you got it focused right into a spot. And also here on the side we've got a little knob that changes your pill. So you got if you can see in there's your red, white and your green pills in there. So it's got a little knob on the back here to adjust your dial, like to adjust your output, your brightness. So that'll be on the dimmest, and then it goes up to the brightest there. So then you turn to there's white, green and red. Turn it full brightness. So it's very handy, and it's pretty quiet operation of the buttons. You've got nice thread on the back here. Now I have to say, this thing here is built like a tank. There's a bit of weight in it, but it is very good solid construction. They're built for shooting, so built for using on your rifle, I should say, to handle the recoil and everything. Not for shooting yet, obviously. Thought I'd specify that. So here's takes one 18650 battery in there, and we've got nice in there, and I think they've got all the gold contacts and the spring in there, which you can't really see in there. Camera, but that thread is really nice and smooth to screw on. So it's got an inch body diameter on there, so you can, most of your little inch scope rings will fit on there too if you want to attach like that. But there's an optional accessory you can buy. This is their windage elevation mount, so if you can mount it on your rifle and get it aligned up with where your scope's shining. So you got your windage there, and you got your elevation at the back here, which lifts, so you can fine tune where you want it to shine. So then you got your Picatinny rail clamp on the bottom, and it just clamps it onto your rail, so you can look at this. Mozzies are coming out already. So you can attach that to a pick rail on your rifle as well, instead of using your figure 8 clamp. Well, another thing you can do is put it up on your spotlight handle on the lone shooter handle that I use, and it works pretty well up on there. Anyway, they don't advertise this being the brightest torch out there, and no, it's not the brightest torch. But the one good thing, the main use for it, is for your red light, because red light picks up eye shine, especially on predators, really, really well. So no, it's not the brightest out there, but foxes, pigs and things like that, they can't see red light very easily. So that's the main selling point for this torch, and it has got a very, very good red light in it. The green is pretty good too. It's not the best green light out there. I don't think, comparing it to something like the Ace Beam L19-3, but because it's different colour, it's more of a yellowy green than this one, but it's got a lot more distance on it. But we'll compare them later too and show you the difference. But it's good to have the 3 pills, so if you want to switch to a red or to a white so you can see where you're going a bit easier, or to a green, it just makes it a bit easier on your eyes than the white. It also, the green shows up eye shine pretty good too. But I might tie the dog up down my shooting range and at about 100 metres, and so we can pick up the eye shine as well in it. Anyway, we'll take it outside and show you how it performs. Okay, so I've got the JP303 out here in the dark, and I'm just going to sort of show you how it performs. We'll start off with it focused all the way out. I'll just turn the torch off. So there we go, we got that's the red zoomed all the way out. Now I've got my dog Tish tied up down the shooting range there at 150 metres. So I don't know how good the camera's actually going to pick the light up. So there's your lowest setting, and you zoom it up, like brighten it up. So it's full brightness, that tree. You can see it, I'll zoom in a bit. You can see that tree down there. Well, there's his eye shine. So there you go, you can see his eyes. Don't know how well it's picking up in the camera, but it really shows up good and bright. Now if I switch it over now while he's looking, I switch it over to green. There you go, it goes up, shines up quite nice and bright. I'll zoom into a bit more, there you go, you can see his eyes. If we go back to red, so there you go, shines up quite well. And so you can see foxes and cats eye shine just like that. And so even there you can even see that tree right out the back there. Now if I switch it to there's the green, and now I go to a white, it's a lot more visible to the predator. But the good thing with this Z Vision torch is so you can dim it right down to whatever brightness you want, and you've got a long run time, so 2.5 hours. It's not dimming down like other brands are. Yeah, it's not quite as bright. So like I've got, this is Olight Javelot Mini, and I'll just compare it. See, that it probably doesn't quite punch out in quite a tighter. The JP303 is a lot tighter spot than that one, and it's also a warmer white than the Olight one. But the Olight just throws a whole lot of light out there and it's quite a bit smaller torch. But this one here, that's not its purpose isn't to throw heaps of light down range. It only throws out quite a tight, focused little spot. You haven't got a lot of spill, and then you can just switch it to red, and so you're not disturbing foxes and stuff. Dogs, I think, can still see red light, but foxes and pigs can't see it as well. So anyway, that's quite effective when it comes to predator hunting at night. And the green is pretty good too. So your visible distance out there, you can sort of see out to about, they advertise 450 metres. I'd say it's about pretty well spot on, but they're saying it'll detect eye shine from predators out to 900 metres, which I think is probably pretty well spot on too. Like there's even it's cattle just out here. Here's red, so the eyes show up pretty good. It's obviously a lot better than this in real life than what it looks like in the camera, but that's still quite good. So if you just wanted to have a shot, I'd say at 150 metres you could probably have a shot quite comfortably with the white torch. The red torch, you're not going to see much more than their eye shine. If you got a good enough scope, you probably would. but all you need to see in a fox is his eyes, and you can aim between his eyes and you're probably likely to get him if you're a good shot. Okay, so I'm just going to now compare the JP303 with the Ace Beam L19-2. So you can see the L19 just has way more throw. There you go, you can see that eye shine really shows up good. He is in almost a bit of a gully there where he is. I should have put him out a little bit further, but you can see the little dimmer beam of the JP303 is not even a patch on this one, but it's, like I said before, this is designed for just shooting that little bit of light out just to pick up that eye shine, so you can even just ID your target. Sometimes even if you are using thermal, it's sometimes handy just to put a light out there that's just not disturbing everything around the area, just so you can get a more of a positive ID on what you're trying to shoot. You're not trying to flood and alert everything to the fact you're there like this one would. So you can see that's just throws out heaps of light. It all depends on the function you're actually going to use the torch for, what your purpose is. It's very purpose specific torch. So there you go, down my shooting range there, we've got cows are down there at 150, and that one just floods it everything out really well. But I can see that cow quite clearly with this. You're not disturbing everything by using it. It picks up the eye shine way down there at probably nearly 200 metres. It's quite good. Where that just floods everything out. So that this one here, if you wanted to shoot under this light and see how to see your target a lot more clearly, then this is probably the Ace Beam is probably a better torch for you. But if you just want to, say, ID a target without disturbing everything and without throwing light over the whole area, then this one here is actually a really good little torch, especially if you want to just use red light and not disturb everything. But that eye shine picks up really good. Even if we go back to Tish out here, there we go. Picks up his eyes, he keeps looking away. He's wondering why on earth he's tied up out in the middle of the paddock. Poor old dog. So there's, you got white light, green light, and red light. So that's on the flood, at the wide as it'll go. As you can see, it really shines the eyes up good. So you can use it for walking around at night. If you got it on flood, it is possible, but it's still not real easy because there's no spill. Hey Tish, what do you reckon? You're not sure what's going on, hey? You can brighten it up, and so at probably 10 metres or so, it's at 20 metres there, it's probably about 5 metres wide in the beam, even at full flood. So anyway, what do you reckon, Tish? Time to go home? I think so too. You think you're going to get shot, don't you? Poor old dog. Okay, I'm just going to wrap up my final thoughts on this JP303 torch from Z Vision. The only con I can think of is the weight of it. It's not a big deal, but it is a reasonably heavy torch to be mounting on your gun, especially if you got like your night vision scope and batteries and anything else that's sort of powering it. That's how I used to use the NV303 when I used to have it, which is the red and 2 infrared wavelength lights, other than the same body. So this one here, I do really like the construction of it. It is very well made, very smooth to operate the switch and the dimmer and the switch on it. The selector for changing your different coloured pills, your light pills, is really smooth, and also the threads for your tail cap, and also for your adjusting your your flood into your spot. So it's really nice silent operation in the switch. You don't have a big click 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 click. It's all quiet and it's just straight on. There's no different modes. It's all in the one button. You can just turn the dial to just adjust your brightness however bright you need it. So the lens also makes it it allows you to not need such a bright LED chip, which is a real power hungry chip. So they've put a chip in there which isn't quite as bright, but they've put a big lens in there to magnify that brightness to be able to still punch out to a distance. So I can turn up to full power. There's a power pole out there in the distance at about 300 meters. I don't know whether you'll see it in the camera, but I can see that quite clearly from here. And yeah, even if I go to green, I can still see it clearly, and same with the red. So that's at 300 meters. So they advertise at a viewing distance of about 450 meters on all the modes. And if you got using a scope, or it'll pick up eye shine at over 900, about out to 900 meters. They advertise. So I'd think that's pretty right, especially on a fox or something. If he's a kilometre out, you're still going to pick up his eye shine. No worries at all with that. So the run times on this is really good because that chip's not burning up a whole heap of power to try and get the light output. It's just relying on the lens. They can still get like a 2.5 hour run time of continuous light out of this before it starts dimming down and before the battery goes flat. So that's a really good feature. You're not having a lot of the other torches like Olights. They'll have a really bright setting, and after about a minute or 2 minutes or something, it just gets too hot, and they've got to dim the light down, otherwise it'll damage the circuit boards. Whereas this one doesn't have that feature. It doesn't. I haven't even ever noticed it getting hot, because it's just not putting out that huge amount of power into the chip. It's just relying on a lens for magnifying it. So anyway, it is a purpose-built torch. It's not a torch for just taking out to walk your dog. It's not built for that, and I don't recommend buying it for that, because it's not a torch for just walking around close and putting a light on the ground, because it's such a tight spot. You don't get any spill, so you don't get any peripheral vision with your torch. So it is made primarily for hunters and for the people especially targeting foxes, and that eye shine with your red light. The red light in this is the best red light I've ever seen in a torch. So it really punches out there and does a very good job of it. So if you're in the market for a torch for targeting foxes, have on your gun, if you don't have a thermal scope or night vision, this one here is for you. It's a really, really good torch for that. So anyway, I think we'll leave the review at that. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you do want to check it out, you can head to the links in the description below to Eagle Eye Hunting Gear's website. They've got all the Z Vision torches on there, and also plenty other gear for making your hunting easier, especially all your rests and you name it. He's nearly got it on the site to help you make better shots and make your shooting a little bit easier. So enough rambling on for me. I'll leave the video at that, and go and get yourselves a good torch if you're in the market for a good foxing torch. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.